Hey y'all, what's up? Big Willie here, and welcome back to another episode of our Exosphere Community Edition Let's Play. In today's episode, we have a problem. We need prosperity shards, okay? It's a problem. There's no real good way to get them. Actually, in most packs, if you've got a digital miner in, a lot of packs, that's about your best method. You can't grow them. You have to mine them. So yeah, we're going to need to figure that out. So before we do, as you can see, I've got like 36 levels, and I had a freak accident the last time I went mining. So we want to do something with those levels. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, as I said, I got a bunch of levels. I want to come over here to the Ender IO quest line, and let's see if we can't get to the experience obelisk so that we don't lose our levels. I want to be able to store them away for us and hopefully not have to worry about if we fall into the void or something, we lose out. We've made solarium ingots previously together. We've made energetic alloy previously together. So now it's time to craft up the experience rod. I've never used this, so we're going to try to figure it out together. And then the way I understand it, we need this obelisk in order to be able to store it. Looks like we're going to need to pulverize some nether quartz. And what was the other one? And we're going to need to turn some solarium into nuggets. Well, that one's easy enough. And then let's take some nether quartz over to the pulverizer. What moon did it just say we're under? Blue moon. Lucky. Hey, if we were out looting, we'd get better rolls on our chests. All right, pulverizer. I think I got some gold in here pulverizing, but we can skip that and send the quartz through. I did have to make some changes to power. We were running our controller off of like a Stirling generator for some reason, so instead I just brought it and put the controller on our line over here that's got our grid and stuff on it in our building. So I did that in between episodes, but if we just pop down here real quick, we can take a peek and you can see it in there. So yeah, there's our main line that we brought over to this building, and the controller is just attached to it with power from our generator setups here, and now we don't have to worry about it running out because these are not fuel dependent. We've got an infinite water source and they're generating power based off the heat of the lava under them. I did go ahead and add another blazing generator. I got our main blazing generator updated. These are all getting fed their infinite water, and they'll just run forever. Once they fill up on power, we're getting 200, 400, 600 FE a tick right now is where we're at on our power gen. All right, is the quartz done being quartz powdered? Yep, cool. Wrong grid, there we go. Now, can we make the chain doohickeys, soul chains? We need 4 of them, nice. And then an ensouled chassis. Let's put that in our inventory just to make sure, like I said, I think there might be a quest line, so that gets us quest completion. And then now the experience obelisk. Now the question becomes, do I need another experience rod? Because I think that's how we're supposed to interact, but for now, let's just slap this thing right there. And then, do I need this in order? Let's put it in a backpack and see if we need it. Looks like we don't. So we want to store all of our levels. There we go. Now our levels are safe and sound in that block. If we fall into the void, we don't lose anything. So it looks like you don't necessarily need a second rod. I may have made that for no reason, but I think you can use it with some of the Ender IO machines that need XP in them for recipes. So we probably will need it later on. Don't need it right now. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we have RTP in the server pack, so random teleport. What I'm probably gonna do, I've kind of picked the area down below my base here clean. Is anybody else on? No, okay. So no one else is on the server. I'm gonna skip the blue moon, that way we can have daytime and don't have as many mobs. And then I am going to RTP out to somewhere not near my base. And I'm gonna go ham on mining some prosperity shards until we have enough to move on with the other things that I want to do. So some of the things that we want to get done is I want more growth accelerators. I don't know if we have talked about them, but they are what I'm using to speed up the tick of the crops. These go up to, you can stack them up to 12 blocks deep, but right now I don't even have a whole layer, and they are extremely heavy on the cost of prosperity shards. But our upgraded machine here, it will harvest this entire field, and the faster we can make them grow, the more resources we can have coming in. So I'm going to go do some mining. For you guys, it'll be just a split second. For me, it will be, I don't know how long. So I'll catch you on the flip side. All right, y'all. I had to bring you in here. I went looking, I did my teleport and I went down to the lower areas where I've had luck finding prosperity shards, and I found this like crazy catacomb structure. All the rooms have these little like slabs, and you move them and there's 2 chests under each one of them. It is massive. I brought all of my backpacks, my diamond backpacks with me. I am into my 3rd backpack full of loot. I have gotten skelly skulls, armor for days, all kinds of enchantments, reliquary drops of every imaginable kind, like all the reliquary stuff. It is crazy. If we look right here, there's 5 1K storage parts for our refined storage. We've gotten a 16K out of one of the chests early on. It's in this first backpack somewhere. I'm not seeing it, but there's a 16K storage part in here. Maybe I put it in my regular backpack. I'm not sure. There was definitely a 16K somewhere in here. There it is right there. 16K storage part. I mean, just the loot is unreal. So they look like this. You break them open, and inside every one is 2 chests. And some of the chests are kind of duds. Others of the chests are just absolutely full of loot. Now, there are mobs everywhere, like just tons and tons and tons of mobs. But they're not too bad. There's only been a few spawners. It's really just been like, I'm guessing they spawned in here in the dark. But like this hall right here, for example, was just chest after chest after chest. And it seems to just go on and on and on. I keep getting like lost in it almost. We came into here through this way, but it goes on more. There's more over here. So here's a room we haven't looted. There's nothing under these tables that I've found so far, but they all have skelly skulls hanging out. But see, here you go. Another 2 chests. So when you are adventuring, I said it at the very beginning of this pack, I will say it in most packs, looting is a very, very valid way to progress in your packs. You can get so much stuff that you need and save yourself so much time just by running around, explore, loot, open the chests. I have the philosophy of just take everything and sort it out later. If you are limited on storage, you have to be picky and choosy, but like free storage parts and stuff, like all of those things here, like that is worth almost a whole backpack full of resources by the time you craft one. So get out in your worlds and loot. Back to the mining for me. I'll catch y'all back at base, unless I find something else cool. Okay, I probably just spent the better part of an hour actually looting that structure, and then I mined a little and got us 5 stacks of prosperity shards. The reason we need these prosperity shards is to move on. So what we want to do is, if we come back and look at our signs, today I want to need prosperity shards options, mine for them, like we talked about. I want to try and get into the wireless grid, crafting grid, so that we have wireless access to our storage. The range thing, I don't know if we're going to have the power gen for it. We may craft up the pieces and see, but Flux networks and automating the furnace. So for all this wireless stuff, the reason we need the prosperity shards is we need a better, more reliable, consistent source of ender pearls. In order to get into that, we are going to need to make the soul extractor. The soul extractor right here allows us to make seeds for mobs, essentially, and then we can add them to our either our phytogenic insulators here, or add them to our crop farm out there. These probably are going to be more of a late game option for us for growing. They're going to take a lot of power and structure and resources. And to be honest, stacking the growth accelerators, although it's very similar to what we've done in the last few series, it's just going to work better for the early to mid game. So let's take a look at this soul extractor. The reason we needed the prosperity shards is for prosperity ingots. We're going to need a bunch of these to get through making it. I don't know how many. We're going to start with 16 and see if that gets us where we need to be. So for each solarium dagger, we need 2. So that's 4 total. The solarium daggers are part of the crafting for it. Our soul dust comes from the nether. We mined that, I think, together on our nether adventures. The rest of this should just be a pretty simple little craft. Oh, we need a couple more solarium ingots there. And now we have a soul extractor. Soul extractor, I do believe, needs power. So we're just going to slap it here. Do I have any more energy cables or energy conduit or whatever it's called? Energy conduit, I think. Yeah. Conduit. There it is. We need some conductive alloy ingots. Now, I do believe we looted a bunch of that. I want to say there's like 15 somewhere right there. We'll probably get the rest of this added to our storage pretty soon, but energy conduit. This is probably a good one to make a pattern for. I won't make you guys watch me make patterns for everything, but until we've kind of gotten in the swing of you guys understanding, I'm just going to, stuff we're going to need repeatedly, I'm going to toss a pattern into the system for it so that when I need it, I can just craft it up. I'm going to have to upgrade these crafters. We'll get there. Don't worry. But now I can just look conduit up and I can say, make me a stack. And it doesn't have enough for a stack. What about 10? Cool. It's got enough for that. So there, it crafts them in batches of 8. That gets us 16. We just need to tell this that it can insert power in there, and presto, now our soul extractor is powered up. Next steps on the soul extractor, we need the soul jars. The soul jars are how we get the goodies from the mobs. So we're going to need more solarium ingots, 4 total soul jars for each mob that you want to make them for. And then now we need soul glass, which is smooth soulstone cooked in a furnace. And we get smooth soulstone from soulstone being cooked. All right, so we got to do some cooking of some soulstone. So let's just take out a stack. Now the question becomes, can I cook it in there? No. It looks like maybe for more than one thing, and that's why it's already pinned. A redstone furnace is going to be in our future from thermal. It is going to be one of the ways that we have to craft this stuff up. Let's see, we need some bricks. So let's get that going. Clay. Yep. Let's do 16. Get those smelted up. And then we were running low on glass, so I was smashing down some stuff again. So let's get a bunch of glass going. Seems like we're always out of glass, honestly. Those bricks we now need to make into bricks. 1, 2. Oh, we're in the wrong grid. That's why I can't craft in it. There we go. 1, 2. Put those in. A redstone furnace just needs a machine frame, 10 gear, and machine frame. And there is our redstone furnace. Now, we talked about these integral components before. I made some up off camera. We're going to go ahead and make one up for this. It's going to speed it up. And then, can we craft up any of this? No, we're going to need to make some electrum and stuff. So let's talk about placement on this redstone furnace. I would like to get it automated. We have cable over there. We're going to need to make crafters. Automating the redstone furnace is on the agenda for today, but for right now, let's just get it hooked up right here. We can probably just go right under the floor, hollow this out, and bring some cable in. Get us an elevator block so we can get up and down from under the floor. And that'll be, you know, kind of where we start tying some of this in. The plan is to eventually line both sides of this set of cables right here with blazing generators all the way back to the wall. So, and then we can upgrade these generators through the tiers, and that'll get us, you know, if we just do the 8 here, you know, that's a 1600 RF a tick just on the tier that we're on. We definitely can get there. Resource gen is getting to the point where that is not a problem for us. Let's go ahead and put in our augment, speed this up. And then now we need that stack of cobbled soulstone that we just put back on accident. So we're going to put that in here. And this has got to go through not once, not twice, but 3 times through the process to get us the dust that we need. So we're going to just let this roll. Like all of our other thermal machines, this one's totally configurable, auto inputs, auto outputs on pretty much any of the sides except the face. Thermal machines don't let you utilize the face of the machine, the front of the machine for inputs and outputs. All right, I won't make you guys watch it. I am going to sit here and process this through until we have enough of the soul dust to make our jars for our Enderman seed. Be right back. All right, there we have it, 48 soul dust. I went ahead and stole our machine upgrade from our harvester just to speed this up for on camera. I'm going to go put it back in the harvester as soon as we're done, but it's super slow without it. We need to craft up all 12 of our soul glass right there. And now we can craft up our soul jars. And would you look at that? I crafted somehow, without calculating it, exactly enough of the solarium ingots for all of this. I don't remember, you know, if that was intentional or not. But now we put our soul jar in there. We're going to need our ender pearls. We're going to need 4 stacks of 16. Each jar takes a 16 stack of ender pearls to make, because you get a half of a fluid or whatever per. And you just toss in your ender pearls. Once the jar is full, we'll pull the jar out, put a new jar and a new stack of ender pearls in. Now, we're going to need Imperium Essence, so IMP. We only have 1, but I think we have some of the next here, which is Supremium, right? So we should be able to just pull one of these, break it down. And I was working on making the Master Infusion Crystal for stacking those up, but ran out of Prosperity Shards, which was another reason for our adventures today to go get more Prosperity Shards. Is I would like to get to the Master Infusion Crystals so it doesn't break anymore. And then we can start talking about processing those and how you manage it. We've done it in previous series, but in case you're new to the channel and haven't watched any of the previous ones, we'll talk about what our options are. I kind of like to just auto-craft everything all the way up into the top tier essence. So your top tier essence being Insanium. And if you craft everything into Insanium, then you can always backwork your Insanium down to whatever essence you need. And it's a whole lot quicker than trying to craft 16 million Inferium essence up into 4 Insanium. And if you have it being done passively as it's generated, you know, it makes the process so much smoother in the long run. So there are our 4 jars. A last piece, once again, why we need Prosperity Shards, is we need a Prosperity Seed Base for making our new seed. So if we go look and craft them up there, I already have some Signalum ready to go too in the Don't Get Distracted barrel. So we'll grab that out. We're going to make our Enderman seed and our Signalum. There's no difference in the process with the jars than anything you've seen. You just put your jars in the pedestals, does not matter which one, and craft up your seed. I'll catch you guys once these seeds are done and we're ready to move on. I lied. It's not a prosperity seed base. It's different. How many of you guys caught that? How many of you are like yelling at your monitors? Yep. I knew it. I knew you were. All right. So for these, we need the Solarium seed base, which, nope. It's the other base. So let's just go seed base. Yeah, Solium seed base. So this takes Solium dust and a prosperity seed base to make the Solium seed base. I totally slapped this in here and was like, why isn't it working? Wasn't working because I didn't do it right. All right, got both of our seeds out. We've got some vacant crop area over here, but you can see how fast this stuff grows and how slow this harvester is without the upgrade. So let's go get that upgrade, pick up the speed, and get back to what we were doing. I do want to grab out, let's see, what was that, Supremium? Let's go ahead and just put both of these on their right tier crop, their right tier soil, because that'll help us with output and getting the, what we need out of it. So we're going to just make a row right here of tier 4 soil and put those two in it. Slap our upgrade in, and then now we should be able to just watch it start processing. It goes a row at a time, works its way across, and you can just see the speed difference. So gotta have that upgrade in here if you want to have pretty steady resource gen. We're going to get power to this, though. That's kind of the goal. The purpose of this was to make sure we didn't run out of ender pearls. And now let's talk Flux networks. Another reason we needed to make this is for Flux networks, we are going to need to make Flux dust. Flux dust, the OG way, is made by smashing redstone on obsidian with another block of obsidian. It's like smash crafting or something. I don't know. Left click, you smush it between a flux block and bedrock or the other one. But in this case, since bedrock is, well, I don't know if there's bedrock. There might be bedrock in like the mining dimension. We could probably do it there. Seems there's another recipe in here, and one of the only ways to do it is a blast furnace, a regular furnace, which would be super slow, or we can slap obsidian in a redstone furnace to craft it. And we already made our obsidian seed so that we would have the obsidian we need to get started in this. So in it goes. And once again, the wait begins. I will wait on some of this to craft up, and we'll move right along. All right, our flux is done smelting up. Got a couple stacks of it. Off-camera Wooly also did just a little bit of work to make progressing a little easier for us. So if you come over here by the crafting table, we got ourselves an elevator block, and I have cleared out the space down here beneath the structure. This will allow us to run cabling and get our refined storage up and into everything we need it into. Eventually, I will probably come along and move this cable up, clear that out so that we can walk underneath it all the way around so that we have access to, like, I guess, our main run around our base. We'll probably use wireless for moving it any bigger distances than that main run we already have done. But since we're probably going to be automating various things around the base, like, oh, I don't know, this, and there's already cable all the way over here to it, then I don't feel the need to undo it, but maybe just tidy it up a little as we go. Now, the next two things that we had on the list were Flux networks and automating our furnace. And I think that's going to be all we're going to have time for today, but I think we can get through it. So Flux networks seems complicated. It's not. It's not at all. There's very little actually in the mod. If you look, there's not that many total things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 items, but it's so powerful. This is what we want to get into. We're going to need to bookmark some stuff. So let's bookmark the Flux core. And then we're going to need a controller. And then we're going to need Flux points and Flux plugs. I believe we're going to need to craft Flux blocks, so we should go ahead and bookmark those. Why is it not letting me bookmark? I don't understand. There we go. Oh, it did. All right, so there we go. We've got everything bookmarked we need. Let's come take a look at what it's going to take. Flux cores are the basis of it. Haha, you're probably getting the idea of why we automated our ender pearls. There we go. Eyes of Ender 21. Hopefully that's going to be enough. And Spoiler alert for Friday's video, we're probably going to kill the dragon. Even though somebody else already killed him a bunch of times on the server, we're going to summon him and kill him ourselves. All right. Now, flux cores take obsidian and the flux dust that we made. Looks like we're out of obsidian again, but that's why we're growing it, is so that we've got it as we need it. So there we go. We can get one more craft in. Should be more than enough obsidian to get us through what we need to get done today. Flux cores. Once you have your flux cores, we're going to need to make a flux controller. Next is flux blocks. Each flux blocks takes some of the cores. So I think we needed 4 of those, it said, for our controller. No, we need more. So we're going to need more flux cores. Let's make all of that we can. We're out of obsidian. If we have to, we'll go watering can some. No big deal. Let's keep going, though. So we need 1 more of these, right? And then our flux controller. There we go. This is sort of the heart of your network. It is what allows you to do wireless charging, all sorts of other things. The next 2 things we're going to need to provide power to the network is a flux plug. We are missing 1 flux block. The plug is how you get power into the network. The point is how you get power out of the network. So, wait, we've got a flux quest in here somewhere. Flux networks. There we go. Who knew there was a quest line? I sure didn't. Now it wants us to make a flux point as well. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we can get power onto and out of our network. Aha, the controller was next. And then now, RF storage on our network. This allows you to store power inside the network as a buffer, essentially. These are kind of pricey usually. We'll see if we've got enough, but I don't think we're going to have enough obsidian right now to get through it. We need 6 flux blocks. Yeah, we're not going to have enough obsidian because we only have, let's see, flux. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4 total of these. So we don't even have enough right now to make it, but it's not necessary for us to get started. So your controller can quite literally go anywhere. So since it doesn't have to be visible, we're going to put it out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't even need to be next to power because it doesn't take power in directly. So we're just going to toss it down here, right there. Looks good. Now we need to create a network. Oh, look at that. Squirrel and Delson already have networks created. I'm going to create one for me. It's going to be Woolie's network. We're going to make it private. My color is purple. Delson's is already purple, but, you know, it's my world. So he can be purple. I can be purple. It's all good. Wireless charging. We don't have any networks selected for this. So now that we've made a network, we want to select a network for our controller. And there we go. Chunk loading. Let's go take a look and make sure that the chunk that we have this in is force loaded, and it is. So this will work even when we're not at our base, and it will allow us to have pretty much wireless power wherever we want. We want to enable wireless charging everywhere that it will let us turn it on, but you know, main inventory doesn't allow it. And then we want to tick the box to turn on wireless charging. But as of right now, we still have no power in the network. We need to get power in. So we're going to take our flux plug, we're going to put it right here, and we're going to tell this that it can insert power into our flux plug. Now our flux plug will get power. We're going to put it on the Big Woolie network. And now we should have power in our network. We're not sending it anywhere yet, but we have power. But I've got a great idea on where I would like to send power first, because my farm quits running when this runs out of coal, and I don't have power over here. So that's not good. I would like to come right underneath here, put this flux point on, and if I put it on my network, it should now provide power to that block without the need for coal in here. And as you can see, as soon as it uses any power for processing, it's charging back up, but we do have remnants of fuel. So let's let the fuel run out just to verify that that's working. But this is the idea. Now we have power wherever we need it. We also have power on our person. So if we come to our backpack, for example, actually, where is our, don't we have gadgets in here? Building. Yes, and we've made a building gadget, right? I thought we made a building gadget. Maybe we didn't. I'm confusing the packs. Either way, we now have wireless power coming to us as well. Let's clean up our inventory a little, and that gets us through wireless power. With Flux Networks, we can get power wherever we want. We've got power on our person for things like building gadgets and stuff like that. They'll automatically charge when they're in our inventory. Now, the last piece of the stuff on the side. Oh, well, wireless grid. Yeah, we're not going to have time for that. We're going to automate the furnace, and then we'll talk wireless grid, I guess, next episode. Oh, I didn't finish the roof either. Oops. On the building expansion, yeah. And I did decide to swap these out because it goes better with the black roof. All right. Automating this. We just need a crafter. It doesn't have to be any specific tier. We're just going to start with a basic crafter right there. Nope, not a cyan one, the regular one. And we're going to need a construction core and a destruction core for the crafter. Where is it? There it is. Destruction. And then now the crafter. Oh, we need a machine casing. We need quartz enriched iron. Craft that up from our seeds. And there's the machine casing. And here's our crafter. Let's see. Can we upgrade this to iron? Cool. Can we get it to gold? Maybe. Oh, we haven't made the neural processors. Let's see. What do they take? They take obsidian, which we are low on. We'll get into that next time. We'll just stick with an iron crafter for now. So what I want to do is actually want to bring this up a block. And now that we have our basement down there, I want to put our crafter right here. And then I want to bring our power up one. And we're going to put the furnace on top of it. This, as you can see, though, is faced the wrong way. We're going to need a wrench. Let's see if one of the wrenches we have will turn it. Nope, that one's not turning it. And now we can right click it. So with the little line facing up, that crafter is now going to push into and pull out of, or it won't pull, but we can push out of here. So now we have a crafter hooked into here. We want to make sure that this one is always active, or actually on the insert to give power in there. And now we can put patterns into this. So for starters, glass, right? We want to be able to make glass on demand. We're always needing it. So we come to the furnace, we hit the plus, and that will send one glass at a time to the furnace to create glass. So we'll put our pattern in. We're going to tell this machine that it can input and output, auto output from the bottom. And I should, in theory, be able to tell this glass. And if I wheel click, right? Or is it control click? What is it in here? No, it's not wheel click. It's how do I tell it to make something I already have something of? I can't remember. Well, let's just take them out. Oh, it's not going to work, Wooly. You know why the wheel click isn't working? Is this lit up? No, it's not lit up. Wooly had a moment. All right, so we need some cable. Probably going to need more than that. Let's go ahead and just make 12 more. Okay. Down we go. And then we're going to look for the hole in the floor right there. We bring some cable over. And now our crafter is connected up. You'll notice it's lit up. And when we come in here and look up glass, we should now have the option to wheel click it And I don't know if I have that much sand in the system right now. Let's see how much we have so that we can just test this out. Sand. We don't have any sand. All right, let me get some sand and we'll wrap the episode. All right, got us some sand made in the system. So now if we were to, I do need to figure out what is it? Is it shift or is it control? There is a way to do it. I don't remember. But we're just going to take the glass out, and then now we should be able to tell it to craft glass. So if we will click on it now, tell it to make a stack of glass, go, and let's see if it's working. It is working, but it is not pulling the items back in. Oh, is this the refined thing? Yeah, this is the refined thing, isn't it? So we're going to have a cable, and we're going to have to tell this that it can output to the side, and then it only inputs from the bottom, and we need an importer. So let's make us up an importer. And now it's going to pull our glass back in. There we go. Automated smelting with our redstone furnace. The other things that we can automate now that we're going to need to is our flux dust and stuff, because, you know, that's the only way to make it. And a faster furnace is here. So that's why we wanted to get through all of this today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I did. Man, finding that structure and looting it was a ton of fun. Sorry I couldn't share that with you, but I don't think you guys want to watch me run around in circles and loot for an hour, but I did want to tell you about it. It just looked like stone brick. I thought maybe I had found a stronghold or something. It wasn't a stronghold, but man, was it rich with loot. So I'm going to get some of those discs crafted up, put into our system, so we've got more digital storage. I am looking forward to next episode where hopefully we're gonna go get ourselves a dragon kill, and we can then get elytras and move along with other things in the pack. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.